Hey, you want to buy a home in 2021 in Charleston, South Carolina? Well, stay tuned. I'm going to give you 11 tips on how to do that. Number one, decide whether or not you are ready to buy a home. Buying a home is a major commitment. So before you go shopping and start looking at properties, decide whether or not you are actually ready to purchase a home and be a homeowner. Number two, calculate how much house you can afford. Your lender won't just want to see how much money you make. They're going to want to see the history of your income to make sure you are financially stable to purchase a home and be a homeowner. Preparing your income is all about pulling the right documentation to verify your income history. This is going to make sure you have a steady employment history. If you're on payroll, you're likely to just need your W-2s. But if you're self-employed, you are more than likely will need at least a 2-year tax return so that the lender can verify that you have had income for those 2 years to purchase a home. Now, they're also going to consider your debt to income ratio. This is where they see how much money you are bringing in per month and how much is going out per month to determine how much of a mortgage you can handle. And yes, your credit score does play a huge role in purchasing a home. The credit score will determine what interest rate you will receive from that lender. Now, once you've decided, okay, I'm ready, I'm going to do this, I'm going to buy a home. Just remember, home ownership comes with several costs that you didn't have to worry about when you were renting. You'll have to pay property taxes and maintain home owner's insurance. So make sure you factor these payments into your budget monthly when it comes to your mortgage. Next, save for your down payment and closing costs. In most cases, you'll want to be able to get a loan for 100% financing, but that doesn't always happen. So depending on the type of loan you qualify for, you may have to put down some money, 3.5% on an FHA, 5 to 10% on a conventional. So make sure you have some money saved up for your down payment. Now, for your closing costs, there are many variables to consider when talking about closing costs, but it's smart to say it's going to run you between 3 and 6% of the home value. Now, a lot of times when I am negotiating an offer, I always, most of the time, ask for the seller to pay closing costs for my buyer. Now, it depends on if we are going in with a really strong offer or if we're lowballing the offer. Sometimes I don't ask for closing costs because, sometimes the seller can take it a little personal. So it depends on the type of offer and the market at the time, whether or not I ask for closing costs for my buyer. But remember, every situation is different. Number 4, make sure you get the approval from the lender. You don't need to go out looking for properties if you don't have the approval from the lender. It's definitely like putting the cart before the horse. Doesn't make sense, right? So when it's that time, the lender will give you a pre-approval letter based on your credit, your debt to income ratio, so that they will let you know how much of a home you can purchase at this time. So when you are making an offer, an approval letter is essential because that lets the seller's agent know that you are ready, you have already contacted a lender, and yes, you can purchase that home. Number 5, find the right real estate agent. Now, I know everyone says this, and of course I feel like I am the right real estate agent. So you definitely want to make sure you have a person that knows the area very well, that is familiar with the different types of situation that happens in that area so that you are well prepared for that home. A lot of areas don't require certain home inspections, whereas in South Carolina we do. So you want to make sure that your agent is knowledgeable and understand the market when it comes to home values and in the areas. So I know everyone says get a real estate agent, but you definitely want to make sure you're choosing the right agent. Number 6, you got the approval, go shopping. That's right. The approval's in hand. You got the right real estate agent. Let's go shopping. Or I should say house hunting. So your real estate agent should be able to help you look at properties in your budget and the desirable areas that you are interested in. And based on the criteria of the home, the real estate agent should be able to pinpoint the type of homes that you would be interested in based off of the information given to that agent. And what I tell my clients a lot is rank the properties so that we can keep track of the ones that you like the most versus the ones you like the least. And then that way I can keep track of different features that you like in a property so that when something of that similarity comes on the market, I am able to send it to you right away. Number 7, now you found the property. We found it. We got it. Let's make an offer. So now it's time to write up that offer. Your offer letter includes details about yourself. It does. Basically your name, your current address, also the terms of the offer you are going to be presenting to the seller, like the price, whether or not you want a home warranty, the earnest money that you'll be putting down. And the offer also includes an expiration date of a response from the seller. So yeah, we don't give, well, I'll say I don't give sellers too much of a time to make a decision, especially in a hot market, because when the market is hot, you risk the chance of having other offers come in while you wait for a response from that seller. So something to think about is always be ready, but don't give them too much time to counter your offer while they could possibly be waiting for another offer to come in behind yours. So now the seller can respond to your offer in a couple of different ways. They can accept the offer just as is and you are ratified. Now, they can also reject your offer completely, meaning they won't respond to it, you didn't like it, they reject it, and they're just not going to consider your offer. They can also give you a counter offer. So they may have accepted some terms of your offer, but not all, or not accept any of the terms of your offer, but countering the entire offer back to you. Sometimes negotiation can go on for a few hours, a few days, depending on the terms of the offers. And what I always tell my buyers is don't be afraid to walk away from a property. If it's getting out of hand and you're not feeling great about that property anymore or that offer situation, don't be afraid to walk away. But if you pick the right real estate agent to help you negotiate your offers, I am sure you will get the property that you are excited about. Number 8, get a home inspection. It's a must. You must get a home inspection. Now, sometimes my investors, they don't get a home inspection. They are going to either be renovating the property anyways, or because they're going to accept the property as is because they know that they're going to demo it and they're going to renovate the property. But if you are planning on living in this property, I highly recommend that you do a home inspection. A home inspection is going to point out a lot of things that we don't see with our naked eye. Of course, when we go walk through a house, we're looking at all of the outer features of the property, but we're not really looking at the inner features of the property, like the HVAC, the roof, the electrical, the plumbing, things of that nature that we probably wouldn't see when we're doing our first initial walkthrough of that property. So I always recommend that my buyers get a home inspection regardless. Now, you're gonna also wanna get an appraisal done. Sometimes, again, on cash offers, my buyers do not do an appraisal because they're paying cash. They know that they got it for a very low cost, and they're gonna be renovating it anyways. But if you're planning on living in this property, you definitely want to get an appraisal done. And if you're doing a lender, if you're working with a lender and getting the property financed, you have to get an appraisal anyways. Lenders do not lend on properties that are not of the value that the buyer is purchasing. So that is to your advantage because sometimes properties come in below the value or the purchase price that you're purchasing the property, and the lender will not lend on it. So we have to go back to negotiating with the seller for a price reduction so that the property can be appraised for the amount that the lender is willing to pay for it. So definitely get a home inspection and appraisal done on your property. So now the inspection is done, the appraisal is done, and the inspection comes back showing some items that need to be repaired. So a lot of times this can happen in different situations. Depends, like I said, all offers and situations are different. But after you have viewed the inspection results, you might want to ask the seller to correct some of the issues found in the inspection report. But here are some other options that you could consider. You could ask for a discount on the purchasing price of the property considering the results. You could also ask the seller to give you a credit covering some of your closing costs to compensate for the repairs that need to be done. And then you can also ask the seller to fix all of the items found in the inspection report before closing. But like I said, each situation is different and there are different options for different situations. But these are just some of the ideas. These are just some of the ways that you can consider when the home inspection results comes back and showing some items that need to be repaired. Now, your real estate agent will submit your request to the seller's agent on how you would like to handle the repairs. Number 10, now you have gone through all the repairs, you have done everything that is needed to be done to get the home approved by your lender. The appraisal is good and repairs are complete. It's time to close on this property. Now you should do a final walkthrough. Now with the final walkthrough, you want to do this maybe a couple of days before closing. It just depends on how the time frame that you have from everything being approved and all of the repairs being done on the property is done versus just your time frame if you're local or if you're coming from out of state. A lot of times my buyers out of state, I do the final walkthrough for them to make sure all repairs are done. I make sure I get all the receipts for the repairs because I always ask for the seller to have a licensed contractor make the repairs. Some repairs are minors, so if the seller is handy or have a handy person that can make some of the minor repairs, that's also okay. But most of the time I have the seller make the repairs with a licensed contractor. But all this is done and now it's time to do the final walkthrough. And so I will walk through either myself or with my buyer and make sure the property is in the condition that my buyer is buying the property and they're satisfied with it. So you want to make sure all the repairs are done and everything that was agreed upon is completed and the home is in satisfactory of the buyer. And number 11, it's time to close on your new home. Now your lender is required to give you a document called the closing statement, closing document. Some areas call it different things, but here we call it the closing disclosure, CD. And they're required to give that to you 3 days before closing because of TRED. So you have 3 days in case you say, I don't think I want to do this, to change your mind before closing day. So the CD actually tells you what you need to bring for closing and kind of just summarize your whole transaction as far as your mortgage and what you'll need to be paying monthly on your mortgage. So make sure you read through that closing statement, that closing disclosure, CD, whatever your area calls it, and make sure that you are satisfied with the terms and that you've agreed with those terms prior to. Because a lot of times there's documents before the CD and you pretty much know where you're going to be once the CD comes out. So once you receive the CD, 3 days later, you will be closing on your property. Congratulations. It is closing time. So that's right, it's closing time. 3 days have gone by since you've seen that CD and now you can close on your property and get the keys. Congratulations. Well, you're a homeowner. Congratulations. What do you think about that process? It shouldn't have been that difficult for you. A lot of times the mortgage part is a little tedious and some of the information and documents that you have to submit to your lender can be a little overwhelming and can be frustrating because you sometimes have to find those documents. But in all You should have enjoyed your experience purchasing your home. Well, I'm Carmilla Rena, and I am a licensed South Carolina real estate agent, born and raised right here in Charleston, South Carolina. And if you are looking to buy, sell, invest in real estate here in the Charleston area, reach out to me. Give me a call. I love giving you helpful tips and information so that you are well equipped and ready to purchase your home here in Charleston, South Carolina. Well, until next time, thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to like and comment, because I reply to every comment, and make sure you subscribe to my channel. Until next time, thank you for watching.